Hello, everyone. We are going to get started with our webinar today because we want to be mindful of your time. I also want to inform you that this webinar is being recorded. I want to welcome everyone to the Job Application Tips webinar. I am very excited to have each of you here, and I have lots to share about the topic and our company. If you're just joining us, my name is Kimberly Bounds, and I will be your moderator and presenter for today. Some quick technical reminders. All attendees are in listen-only mode. Your audio and video are off so everyone can focus on the presentation slides. You're also welcome to listen in if you're unable to see the slides for some reason. Closed captioning is available today. If you prefer to turn this feature on, you can go to your Zoom toolbar and click on the Closed Captions CC button. If you decide later you would like to turn off closed captioning, you can click the Closed Captions CC button on the Zoom toolbar to turn the feature off. During our webinar today, I will have my video off so that everyone has fewer distractions. I want to first take a moment and tell you about who we are and explain more about My Employment Options, or MEO for short. My Employment Options is an authorized employment network in the free federal Social Security Ticket to Work program. We provide free work from home and on-site job placement services to those who are citizens and residents of the U.S. who receive SSDI or SSI, non-retirement disability benefits, and who want to try working again. To those who are ages 18 to 64 and who live in one of the 48 states we serve. We serve all states except Alaska and Hawaii. To check out our free services or to apply with us, visit myemploymentoptions.com and click Apply Now. For those on the call who may not be receiving SSDI or SSI benefits, we are glad that you're here. We also have other divisions, MEO Staffing and Ask MEO, that may be beneficial for you. We will share other employment resources with you later in the webinar. The presenter for today's webinar is yours truly, Kimberly Bounds. I am a work-from-home counselor, and I also assist with HR operations. I have been with MEO for over 10 years, and I enjoy helping people achieve personal success through finding and keeping employment. So the topics that we'll discuss today about application tips are what a job application is used to determine, job application checklist, how to fill in work history, appropriate reasons for leaving, references, and illegal questions. Your application is the door to your new job. Employers use your application as a test, so you want to make sure you complete it correctly and double check before you submit your application. Some of the things that employers use an application for are making sure you follow instructions, seeing how well you correspond, testing your ability to complete tasks, seeing how well you operate a computer, reviewing your work experience, seeing if you proofread your application before submitting it, and seeing if you falsify information. Your application gives an employer a lot of information, and you want to make sure you give correct and legitimate responses. It is best to have access to your resume when completing your application to make sure you provide all requested information. The information needed is the company's name and contact information, job titles, dates of employment, and duties and responsibilities. When filling out applications, many applicants have the listed concerns. In later slides, we will go into detail on what to do about employment dates, little or no work history, gaps in employment, examples of appropriate reasons for leaving, and references. We will start off with dates of employment. These are some questions you can ask yourself to help you remember your dates of employment. How old were you when you started or stopped working at that company? What season was it? Was it fall, winter, spring, or summer? If you have children, was it before or after they were born? Was it before or after you were married? What kind of car were you driving to work? And where did you live while working there? If you are unable to recall your employment history, feel free to contact your previous employer to collect the needed information. If the business is closed, use your best judgment and always fill in at least the month and year if you do not have the exact date. For those of you on the call with lack of experience, you can use experience that you've gained from projects and activities you've participated in your community, church, and organization affiliation, but only those projects and activities that correlate with the position you are applying for. If you are not active in your community, you can also add handyman jobs you've completed or responsibilities you have to keep your home functioning. Now we will move into reasons for leaving. Make sure that you are being honest and staying away from negative reasons for leaving a company. You want your reason to be truthful and neutral. You do not want to provide negative reasons for leaving a place of employment. These are examples of negative reasons for leaving a job and will not give the recruiter a good impression. Stating that you've been fired, lost a job to an injury, or left for medical reasons. Here is a list of examples that can be used for your reason for leaving a company or position. You can state that there was a layoff, that you're looking for a career change, that you're wanting a more suitable position, that you're looking for more money, that you want better benefits, or that you have relocated. Now we're going to venture into references. Listing references mean that your prospective employer may call or write to verify your employment information and personal characteristics. So there are two types of references. Professional references are former employers or coworkers. Personal references would be individuals that you associate with outside of the work environment. Many job hunters have concerns about what a previous employer will say during a reference check. In fact, many companies are now using the work number for handling all reference checks. There is a fee, so most employers only release dates of employment and job title. Now to go a little bit into detail on personal references. A personal reference is a person that you have chosen to vouch for your integrity, work performance, ability to get along with others, honesty, values, dependability, character, and any other concerns that an employer may have regarding your employability with their company. So a personal reference can be your friends, people that you volunteered with, clergy, or neighbors. A prospective employer may ask your personal reference any question without restrictions. Be sure to contact your personal reference before listing them on your application. You first want to ask if the person is okay with being a reference. If they agree, you need to inform them of the position you're pursuing and inform them why this is a good position for you. Remind your reference it is illegal for employers to ask questions to determine if you have a disability. To give you some insight on discrimination, it is illegal for employers to discriminate in hiring people because of race, color, gender, national origin, religion, age, or disability. If you are asked any of these questions, what is your race? What is your age? Are you married? What is your religious background? Do you have any children? Do you have a back injury? Or have you ever been on workers' compensation? You should reach out to the EEOC and file a complaint. Now to move into completing your application. So here we have an application example from Nancy Claxton. So if you see where she was supposed to provide her name, she should have listed her last name, then her first name, but she did it the exact opposite. She did first name, then last name. Then on the lower left, for the position or employment desired, she listed any. So with this question, you always want to be specific. Whatever job description that you're looking at, that is the exact job title that you should list on the application. Then over to the right, for date you can start, she listed need time for doctor appointments, which is an inappropriate response. So if you know that this company is open Monday through Friday, you should list a Monday's date as your start date. And on the second example, her name and location of school, she entered that information correctly. She attended Eastlake High School for 4 years, but at the bottom, there's a red flag because for her reason for leaving, she listed workers' comp injury. So the employer that's reviewing her application may look at her as a liability. And then here on the third example for the question that states, can you perform the job with or without reasonable accommodations? Nancy selected no and also stated can't do any lifting. So if you know before applying for a position that you're unable to do or complete all of the job duties and responsibilities, you do not need to apply for that position. So you should go back to that company's career page and find a new position where you can handle all of the duties and responsibilities listed on the job description. And then as a reminder, this application is for Nancy Claxton. Then for the references, it says, give below the names of 3 persons not related to you whom you have known for at least 1 year. For her second reference, she lists Bob Claxton, and it looks as though Bob is a relative of Nancy, which is not following the application request. Now to summarize what we have discussed. Make sure you have all of your information on hand that you need to complete your application, that being dates of employment, employer contact information, job titles, responsibilities, references with contact information. Make sure you ask your references to be a reference before listing them on your application, and give them the specifics about the position you're applying for. Most applications are completed electronically, but if you must handwrite, make sure it is legible. Fill in everything. If something does not apply, you can put N/A. Your reasons for leaving should be truthful and neutral, not negative. Always be honest. Never submit your application without proofreading it first and using spell check. Make sure your resume matches your application information. And always remember, employers use your application as a test. If you receive SSDI or SSI disability and are not a current client and want to find out if MEO can help you with our free services, you can visit our website at myemploymentoptions.com and click Apply Now to submit your application. If you're already a client of MEO and have questions about the webinar, please reach out to your assigned MEO job counselor. In the following slides, you will receive additional resources and information about our employment network and the services we provide. Our CEO, Paula Villela, has written several career workbooks. She also has an ebook on Amazon. There are also instructor versions to use with job seekers if you are a job counselor. To review her resources, you can go to our website at myemploymentoptions.com and hover over FAQ at the top or visit the link on the slide. One of her books is called Employment Options for Job Seekers with Disabilities and Other Challenges. We also use another workbook of hers, Disabilities, Different Abilities, A New Perspective for Job Hunters, with every new client that comes on board with us to help the counselors get to know their strengths and goals. We know that some of you may not be on SSDI or SSI disability, or may not qualify for our free services in the Ticket to Work program. So I'm going to share some other resources with you on this slide and the following slides. First, if you email us for a list, First, you can email us for a list of employment resources at help@myemploymentoptions.com. Note, this is an auto reply only email address. You can also visit our website and hover over FAQ at the very top and review our referral resources page. If you have questions after today's webinar, you can email Lori Adler, our communications manager, at ladler@myemploymentoptions.com. For those who do not receive SSDI or SSI, I also want to make you aware about one of our other divisions, MEO Staffing. MEO Staffing is our newest division and is a diversity staffing agency created to help job seekers find suitable employment. A typical candidate is someone with workplace experience, blue collar or executive level, who knows their career path and employment goals. MEO Staffing services all 50 states. MEO Staffing also partners with national employers to help them hire a more diverse workforce and is seeking new employer partnerships. You can learn more by going to meostaffing.com. We would love to connect with you on social media. You can connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. We share information about free events, hot jobs, industry news, tips, and more. Now that we've covered resources, I will answer some questions that have been submitted. And the first question is, do I have to tell the employer about my disability? My response to this person would be, you need only to reveal your disability if it is going to hinder you from accomplishing your job duties listed on the job description. Question number 2 reads, state and federal applications can take so long to complete. Any tips on how to make this process easier? I would tell this person to first make sure you have enough time allotted to complete the application. Make sure that you're not hungry before starting. Have a glass of water to sip on during the process. Have your resume handy. Have your reference contact information handy. You want to make sure you have everything you need at your fingertips so you do not have to stop and collect the needed information. So preparation, preparation, preparation with everything at your fingertips. Question 3, do you reveal if you have a criminal history? So first off, I would make sure that you read the question carefully and also answer truthfully. Question number 4, how do you deal with not having any job experience? So with that, you can list volunteer experience through church and community organizations, related hobbies, or related coursework. Whatever you have done that has transferable skills for the position you're applying for can be listed in the work history section. Our 5th question is, how do you avoid ageism? So I would say, do not list employment past 10 years. Most employers are looking for experience within the last 10 years, unless they specifically state they are looking for your entire work history. Question 6, do I need a cover letter? So a cover letter is only needed if it is requested or recommended during the application process. So if a company does not ask for one, you do not have to submit a cover letter. Question 7 states, how does an ATS work? An applicant tracking system, or ATS, is software that manages the recruiting and hiring process, including job postings and job applications. It organizes information about job seekers and makes it searchable. As its name implies, an ATS tracks candidates through the hiring process. It helps with interview scheduling, issues notifications and alerts, and sends automated emails to candidates and employees, such as recruiters and hiring managers. If you want the ATS to pull your application, you need to have keywords from the job description in your application and resume. Question 8. How do you explain having so many jobs in such a short time frame? Example given is having 5 or more jobs in a 2-year time frame. So there is actually more than one way that you can list your employment in a situation like this. You can lump them all together, you can list them separately, or you can combine those that are similar. However you choose to list them, you should state that you've done temporary work for the past 2 years so the recruiter knows that you are not a job hopper. Question number 9 asks, how important are online applications to complete if a resume is attached? So my response to this question would be, please do not put "See resume" in the work history section. The recruiter is reviewing your application and does not want to stop, look for your resume, review it, and then go back to your application. Please fill in the requested application information. Question number 10 asks, how do I address the gaps in my employment? So for those with gaps in employment, you can use what you've done during those times. If you have volunteered in any capacity with a group or organization, you can list that experience. Some examples would be if you're active in your church or if you're active in your community organization. Remember, if you receive SSDI or SSI disability and are not a current client and want to find out if MEO can help you with our free services, you can visit our website at myemploymentoptions.com and click Apply Now to submit your application. If you are already a client of MEOs and have questions about the webinar, please reach out to your assigned MEO job counselor. We thank you for attending our Job Application Tips webinar, and we wish you the best with finding employment. This concludes our webinar for today. Please be on the lookout for our follow-up email within 2 weeks that will have this presentation and recording in it. Thank you again for attending, and have a great day. Goodbye.